everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you are returning, I love you guys. Thank you. And if you are new here, well, oh my gosh, hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Bitsy and it is lovely to meet you. And guys, it's Easter, or almost Easter, and I made a fun full glam Easter look. Now let's not keep the people waiting for what they want to see. If you want to see how I did this whole eye look, I made a very detailed tutorial, so just keep watching. And cut to me without any makeup on. Make sure you're starting with a clean face and clean hands. My skin is already prepped and moisturized. Make sure you do the same. I'm going to start with my e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer. I'm just going to take a little flat rounded brush like this, and I'm just going to go ahead and pack that right on any spots that I do not want, including these fat pores. You might be thinking, Bitsy, why don't you prime your whole face? That's a good point. I just want those areas to look as flawless as possible. The rest of my face, I could care less about apparently. Now I'm going to go ahead and take my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer, and I'm going to put that product right on this brush again. We all get spots that need a little TLC. Tender love and care. Now I'm going to take my Maybelline Super Stay Full Coverage Powder, and I'm going to go ahead and take a little powder on this brush and set those places I concealed. And just like that, my acne has vanished. And you lucky ladies who are blessed with clear skin, you can go ahead and skip this step. Guys, I have a million foundations. This isn't even a quarter of them, but I swear my favorite for like a flawless finish type of face and kind of more of a dewy glow is this Dewy and Smooth Fit Me Foundation by Maybelline. I really wanted my hair to look cute today, so I don't want to throw it in a headband, but I hate getting foundation in my hair, so I'm just gonna go ahead and tuck it behind my ears. I kind of look like I have a mullet. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend my foundation in with my wet beauty blender. Thank God I look tan again. I'm gonna go ahead and take my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer again and just throw it right underneath my eyes, right on my lip, my chin, and my forehead, down my nose a little bit. Boom. Anyone else ever feel like this is like war paint? And we're gonna set those places I concealed with powder. Today I am using Airspun Loose Face Powder. If you guys don't know what this is, where have you been? It's literally like the cheapest loose powder you can buy. So I'm gonna take the flat end of my beauty blender, this little end right here. I'm gonna dip right into the powder and set under my eyes and set my chin because my chin gets super oily. Pro tip, I squeeze my beauty blender so I can just use this tiny little part. Like whenever I go onto my forehead, I just take the powder, I squeeze my beauty blender, and I go down. Boom. That is called precision, ladies and gentlemen. Throw that powder aside for a minute, but we'll get back to her. Hey, after that brief intermission, we are ready to go ahead and wipe this powder off. I do like a mixture of kind of brushing it off and pressing it in at the same time. Okay, now we can do my eyebrows. Of course, I am using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dipbrow Pomade. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and pop back in whenever I'm done with my brows, as you guys can watch my first video and see how I do them. And just like that, my eyebrows are done. That easy, right? Just kidding. Oh. Where did that go? Now we're going to bronze and bring back some life into my face. Instead of my Too Faced bronzer this time, I'm going to use my Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula. It also smells so good. Alright, I'm just going to take a little bit of that on my brush. Do my little cheek thing. Ooh, that is dark. She is pigmented. Do the same thing to the other side. And we're done. No, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Don't worry. Take whatever's left on our brush and bring it all the way up to the temples, like that, and to the top of the forehead. I'm going to use circular motions to blend it up, and I'm going to use up and down motions to bring it down more. So look at the difference between blending that out, this side and this side. That's insane. But that's why I love this bronzer, because it is so easily blendable. Like, you think you have a harsh line, and then you just sit there and you rock it in circles, and she's diffused. And just like that, we are all blended. And now I am done with my bronzer. And I'm going to go back in with that Airspun powder. Take a little bit more on the end of my beauty blender again. And I'm just going to go ahead and find that line. And carve it. You don't need a lot of powder for this. And I'm not going to let it set for that long because I don't want to dry out my face with the powder. But I am just going to let this product sit here for a little bit just so I can maximize the shape. I'm just going to take my bronzer brush again and just kind of wipe it away. Now I'm going to take my Milani Baked Blush. I'm just going to take a little bit on my brush and pack it right on my cheeks and blend it right into my bronzer. Now I get to do the eyes, and I'm going to go ahead and start with my Morphe palette. This is my absolute favorite Morphe palette. It has every single color in the rainbow. I love it. And remember, we're doing some bold Easter makeup, so it's going to be a really fun, colorful eye. So I'm going to start with yellow and throw it right above my crease. And don't forget to prime your eyelids with even foundation or concealer if you haven't already. I like to blend my eyeshadow high, but I don't like to blend it into my eyebrows. So I kind of have my brush facing down, so I'm only using this little side, and I'm really careful about where I'm blending, but I still move it in tiny little circular motions because I like to leave a little gap between my eyebrow and my eyeshadow. Barely touching the skin, go super light and do little circular motions, and that's how I blend out my eyeshadow. And I just keep going in with more yellow just to keep building it up so it's a little more pigmented. Keep blending it in the same motion. And I'll be using this brush, my Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, for blending out almost all of these shadows. So I started with this yellow color in the corner, and now I'm going to go ahead and grab this little coral color right here, a little mixture of these two. And I'm going to just blend it in to right where the yellow starts. And I blend colors together the same way that I just blend them whenever they're on their own. Just little windshield wiper motions at first, and then blending it out nicely with little circular motions very, very lightly. And I blend my colors together until they almost seamlessly look like one color that just faded out into the other. Like, you can't see any distinct line between where one started and where one ended. Because I promise if you just keep doing little circular motions, eventually they'll kind of just seamlessly blend together. So now I'm gonna take this bright pink right here mixed with this light pink right here, and I'm just gonna kind of tap both of them. And I'm gonna throw that color right on my lid as far down as possible. We're just going to keep blending the pink into the orange into the yellow. One thing about this look, if you have hooded eyes, like, ignore this face, but if the top of your eye kind of comes over where your eyelid is and you can't really see the color right there, the good thing is if you just blend all the way up to your eyebrow like I did, you can still see those colors. So if you just want to stop here and have this type of look, there's no cut crease and it's not really like one color is the most important color, it's just a bunch of colors all blended and gradient together. That looks good on hooded eyes, on monolid eyes. I promise you can work with this look. But for anyone else who does want more of a cut crease tutorial, I'm going to continue. I'm actually going to add more color and this look is going to take a new turn. So I'm going to take some concealer. I'm going to use my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer because it's nice and thick. And I'm just going to pack that right onto a flat little round brush like this one. And I really want to load it right on the tip because I'm mostly just using this very tip. So I'm going to start right here, right where my tear duct starts, and I'm already going to start with an angle. So I'm going to, and because this brush is rounded, it makes it really easy to kind of just keep a rounded shape. One piece of advice I have for you is that if you feel like you're going to blink and you're in the middle of doing this, take your brush away from your eyeball and then blink and you're fine. But just don't blink while the brush is on your eye. So I'm just super focused and trying to make this as straight of a line as possible. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill it in with concealer. So I'm going to leave it at like a half cut crease, kind of like this. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. Starting right here and just dragging it up and out. Contrary to what your brain will be telling you, like it's easier to mess up if you have more product, I actually find it easier to cut my crease if I have more product on my brush versus if my brush is a little dry and doesn't have enough concealer on it. Now that we're here, I'm going to go ahead and set this with white. It doesn't matter if it's very pigmented or not because we're going to go over it with some color. But I just want to make sure that the concealer is all set and doesn't move. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and take this teal color right here actually on a little packer brush like this one. And I'm going to start throwing that right in my inner corners right here and right here. And once you have something like this in your inner corners, I'm going to go ahead and take this blue color right here and then mix it with a little bit of white because I want it to be more of a baby blue, but there's not a really good baby blue color in this palette, so you can always make one when you have white. So I'm going to just connect that to this teal color right here and I'm going to pack that in more of the center. And once these colors are nice and faded and blended in together, I'm going to go ahead and now I'm going to take a mixture between this lavender and this lavender, maybe a little bit of this one, all three of those, any of them. It's okay to mix colors. And I'm just going to fill in the rest of this white part on both sides and with this lavender color. And this is where we're at now. And so now I'm going to go ahead and take this hot pink color that we used at the beginning and fade this corner from the purple into the orange and pink again. I'm just going to make sure that I have more of a distinct line where my eyeshadow ends right there. Okay, so you can stop here if you want, but if you're anything like me and there's no such thing as too much, I'm going to go in with some more concealer on this teeny tiny little precise liner brush. And since it's so tiny and precise, I'm actually just going to line my crease with this color again. And I'm just going to cut right there on both sides. And that is what it's going to look like. Now that I outlined both of my creases with concealer, I'm actually going to take this tiny little brush again and go in with some white and fill it in. Okay, and this is the eyeshadow all finished. I know this one was really, really difficult, but sometimes it's fun to not just do makeup, but to do art. And finally, I'm gonna take a little bit of this light pink mixed with this hot pink again to make a little pastel pink and throw it right on the outer corner of my lower lash line. And then I'm gonna take this purple mixed with this light purple and throw that on the inner part of my lower lash line. And now we're done with the eye look, and all that we have left is liner and lashes. Now I'm going to take this Hyper Easy Liquid Eyeliner by Maybelline and pray that I do not mess up this eye look. So I think you guys can get this far, but what a lot of people struggle with is the wing and making them even and making them straight. But I start right here and I just do little flicks and bring it out to like there. If I went straight out one time, I probably wouldn't get in a perfect line either. So I do tiny little baby flicks and kind of just connect all the lines. And then from there, I kind of look up like this and I notice, okay, this looks like a good point to start, and I'll just put the tip of my pencil right there and I'll just draw that line and connect it to the rest. And obviously that's not the exact shape that I want, but I'll kind of connect right here and go back and fill it in. But it's not just like, at least for me, it's not just one easy wham bam and done. It's like a lot of tiny little flicks and concentration. So now that I'm there, I'm gonna go ahead and take right here because I want to connect this better. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing to the other eye. I personally like when my wings are thick and really long and pretty straight. Obviously, everybody has different tastes. If you don't like it this big and this thick, that is okay. That's fine. Do your liner however you want to do your liner, or don't do any at all. That is totally your choice. And I am going to do fake lashes, but first I always curl my lashes and put on mascara. I'm going to be using my favorite mascara. This is a Lash Sensational by Maybelline. It is so good. Now you can just stop with mascara and be done, but with a look this crazy and this bold, I feel like you really just need to bring it all the way home with some lashes. I get questions all the time about what lashes I use. These are the Ardell 3D Faux Mink in 854. You are going to need some lash glue. This is the Kiss lash glue and this is the Duo lash glue. They're both great. Doesn't really matter which one I use. I've had a lot of people request a tutorial on lashes, so I'm going to include it here. So I'm going to just really lightly coat this lash band. Like when I say lightly, like barely any glue. And I think that's a big mistake that a lot of people make, is they put way too much glue on their lashes. It just stays wet because there's so much glue there. So I just put the tiniest bit of lash glue on the end of my band and I wait for it to dry. Okay, and so I just pinch my lashes and like hold it as close to the band as I possibly can whenever I'm putting them on. But you don't have to do this. You can definitely use tweezers or a lash applicator if you need to. I line it up as best as I can right over nearly on top of my actual lashes. And so now that I have the middle set down, I'm going to attach the end and pinch that part and just make sure that that part is set and secure. Make sure the middle is set and secure, and then I focus on the front because to me the front is the hardest part to get. With a little bit of pressure with my thumb, I press the lash against my eyelid just to make sure it stays exactly where it is. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other lash, and I'm going to show it again in case you want to rewatch that. Make sure you give it plenty of time to dry and get tacky. If you wear falsies, you know that feeling of you put your lash on and then it just pops up right away and you have to like hold it down and wait for it to dry. If you sit there and you wait long enough and you're patient before applying it, the first time you put it down, it will stick and it will stay exactly where you put it. That's how I get my lashes on. Grabbing it as close to the lash band as I possibly can, I'm going to go ahead and place the center down first and then the outer end, and then very gently, I'm actually going to use my right hand, the inner part. I'm going to take my eyeliner again, and I'm going to try to camouflage the lash band and just make it look like my eyeliner. And I kind of just push my real eyelashes into the fake lashes just so they kind of blend seamlessly together and you can't see a separation. And this is my Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On pencil. I'm just going to go ahead and line my waterline. And then I'm going to use my brush from earlier with the pink on it and blend the two colors together. And that is how my eyes look all done. I cannot forget to add highlighter. I'm going to use my Peppermint Frost palette by Jeffree Star. Unfortunately, I don't think you guys can get this one because it was an exclusive item in a mystery box. But all Jeffree Star highlights are so pretty. So I'm going to take this gold one called Igloo Gold. And I'm going to throw a little bit on the tip of my nose right here. And throw a little bit in my inner corners. When I say it is like so bright and pigmented, one little tap and like I just lit up my whole town. Also, I'm just going to take a very small amount and highlight the arches of both of my eyebrows. And then finally, I'm going to take my Fenty Gloss Bomb. This color is so pretty and it goes with everything. Alright guys, and that is everything. This is the completed finished look. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you're curious about any of the products that I used in this video, remember that I link all of the products in my description. If you decide to challenge yourself and recreate this look, please tag me in it, send me it, DM me it. My Instagram will be right here. Seriously, DM me pictures of you guys recreating this look. I would love to see that. And I always love to hear what you guys want to see from me in my next video, so make sure you comment down below. Happy Easter, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you're all staying safe, staying healthy, and staying home. And while you're there, you should watch my next video. I love you guys. You're the best. Mwah.